Hi everyone, it's Allison for Leading Edge Dog Show Academy, and I am here today to answer some questions that we've had come in through our social media channels. So you can send in your questions to our Instagram, by email, or to our Leading Edge Dog Show Academy page, and we are more than happy to help you. Coming up, we are going to have a forum for our Winner Circle subscribers, and there are going to be some notes below this YouTube video, and you can sign up there for some of our premium content. But let's get going with our Q&A. So the question was, what's something you've always wanted to learn about dogs and or dog shows? So that's the question we put out to you. And here are some of the questions and the answers right here. So the first one was how to afford it. So of course, dog shows can be very expensive. Just the entries alone can be a huge expense when going to championship dog shows. So there are some very obvious ways that you can make dog shows more affordable, and there's some ways that are maybe a little bit more obscure. So of course, in the beginning, why don't you go to dog shows that are close to home? You can drive back and forth to home. You're cutting down on gas and hotel expenses. If you're lucky enough to have dog shows close to home, that is a great way to do it. Pack a lunch, right? Like a lot of these venues have an expensive menu, and some of the more commercial venues, and typically the food isn't always awesome. So pack a lunch, bring your drinks. I was always somebody that always took bottles of water to the dog show because I really protested against spending $7 for a bottle of water. So those are some of the more obvious ways that you can save money and be able to afford it. So some of the more technical ways for me would be pick and choose my judges. So decide what kind of judges you want to show to. Do you want to show to judges that only judge your breed or your group? Do you have that opportunity? Maybe you want to do some research and find out what judges have put up dogs from your dog's kennel or family, and Canuck Dogs at www.canuckdogs.com have a lot of great resources for looking up judges, results, etc. So you can kind of plan what judges to show to. Infodog in the US has the same thing. So there are different ways you could ask your breeder, you could ask other exhibitors. Maybe you have a dog whose type is a little bit different than what is normally being shown around you. Maybe you have a foreign bred dog or a dog of a foreign type. In that case, only show to foreign judges, right? Somebody more familiar with what your dog looks like. So those are some of the ways. Another way is maybe treat it like a family affair, right? If you have children, they can come, they can go in junior handling. Junior handling in Canada is only $2, and that's maximum. Most clubs don't even charge this nominal fee. Junior handling in other places is either free, or in the US it is a reduced entry to enter into junior handling. So make it a family event. But in any case, I think that you do need to look at dog shows like they are a luxury event, a luxury item, like going to the spa, like taking a ballet class, like going to a concert or a movie. This is something that is a luxury thing. So, don't think that you have to be able to afford everything like kind of right out of the box, right? They are expensive. So I hope some of those tips did help you. And so the next question, going along with our dog shows affordable, that some people consider like just breaking even to even kind of be something that we shouldn't look for in dog shows. Well, I would agree that you maybe don't plan on breaking even if you're breeding dogs and also exhibiting them. But, I don't personally think that there is anything wrong with breeding dogs, and going to dog shows and either making a little bit of money at it or breaking even on your venture, right? I mean, it's all about how you do it, how many dog shows you go to, what kind of facilities do you have. So I don't really think we should look at it as something where, it's absolutely something that you'll never break even at. So I hope that helps. Okay, I'm gonna check our next question. Our next question, oops, I didn't do this page thing very well here. And I'm just going to scroll up for you. So why do dog shows start so early? So that's a good question. So I guess many years ago, dog shows started early because the entries are so big. We needed to start them early to like kind of get through the day. And now dog shows aren't as big. They still seem to start fairly early. So a couple different reasons. I think because traditionally, in the summer, outdoors or in air conditioned buildings or places where it's just typically hot all year round, that for the shorter nose breeds, the brachycephalic breeds, so your French bulldogs, your boxers, your bulldogs, breeds like that, maybe even Clumber spaniels that aren't brachycephalic, but still, they like it when it's cooler. They like to start early and get these dogs into the ring early before it got really hot, so that, maybe if your group was later, they only had 1 or 2 dogs that they had to worry about keeping cool. Another reason for me that I don't mind that dog shows start early is that I am up in the morning with my dogs early. My dogs like to get up early. They get up maybe 6:30. I like to get up, get them out, get them fed, get them, do all those things. So I figure if I'm up, I might as well go to the dog show, and then the dog show can be over earlier, like in the early evening, maybe later afternoon, and then I have the rest of the evening, late afternoon, to like do my own thing or relax with my dogs. Now that doesn't always happen because some of these smaller dog shows do start early and end late. I really don't have a good answer for that. I think that sometimes the scheduling at many of these dog shows isn't the best, but that's kind of out of our control. But traditionally it was because we were up early with our dogs, so we might as well get them into the ring, etc. So our next question is, why do they have 2 shows in one day? So I love this question because it's kind of one of my pet peeves. So 2 shows in one day. So in Canada, when we have 2 shows in one day, so 2 all breed shows, I'll get into the other part of it in a minute, but having 2 all breed dog shows in one day, usually those dog shows are limited to 175 dogs each. And 175 dogs is the maximum amount of dogs that one Canadian Kennel Club licensed judge is allowed to judge in one day. So originally, those limited shows, 2 shows in one day, were only for remote markets, right? So Canada is a big, huge place. We have a lot of dog show enthusiasts that live up north or places that just don't have the population density. And so for them to be able to afford dog shows, like before, if they had to have 2 or more judges for their show, they just couldn't simply afford 2 to 3 judges to judge maybe 100 dogs. So the Canadian Kennel Club said, well, you can have 2 shows in one day up to 175 dogs. So then you only need 2 judges and you know what your expenses are. And this afforded many of those clubs in lesser populated areas to be able to afford to have dog shows. And that was a great, great idea. Now, originally when this rule was implemented, the idea was that if your dog show filled to 175, so became full, the following year you wouldn't be allowed to have a limited dog show because you were showing that you did have the population there to support a bigger dog show. Now, unfortunately, this rule was either never official or never enforced. I actually got this information from somebody that helped create the rule. And yeah, so to me, there is absolutely positively no reason at all to have a dog show in a market where the entry to 175 is easily filled. I think that is part of the thing that is killing off our bigger entries at dog shows, and it is a personal pet peeve of mine. Ooh, I hope I don't get in trouble for saying that, but that is my opinion. The other thing when we have 2 shows in one day, so if we're having 2 shows in one day and it's an all breed show with a specialty show, so like a show just for Pekingese or maybe just for all toy dogs or something similar, to me, I have 0 problem with this. I think that's a great idea. That's a way for clubs to make more interest in their breed because they can say, hey, like over these 3 days, we're going to have 4 sets of points for Salukis or whatever breed has a specialty. And it's a way for those specialty clubs to have breed specialists come into the dog show, judge that breed, and then maybe if they have other breeds that they are also licensed to judge those other breeds, the usually smaller specialty breed club can split the expenses with the all breed club, and I think that works to everybody's benefit. So there are 2 different reasons for 2 shows in one day. Specialties, I think, is a wonderful idea. Limited shows to 175, I think, is a great idea for shows that don't fill to 175, but for shows that are regularly filling in some of these bigger areas, like near the Toronto area, even like in some of the other densely populated areas, I think is just really, really doing us a disservice here in Canada. So that's my opinion. Next question. So this next question is a little bit fun. It's, why is there so much drama at dog shows? Well, I guess I know, but I think the reason there's so much drama at dog shows is that, first of all, showing dogs is competitive. People that are competitive, you see it in hockey games, when a bad call by a ref comes along or whatever, and they like smash their hockey stick or throw something away. You see bad temper all the time in sports. And I think the problem with dog shows is that it's a completely subjective thing. It's one person's opinion. It's not like who crosses the finish line first absolutely wins. So there is always perception when it comes to that, right? And then I think we add on top of that a lot of people, think of their dogs as a member of their family. And like, that's terrific. That's what we want. But in being a member of their family, if your dog doesn't win, a lot of people just think that it's basically somebody saying that your son or daughter, your four-legged son or daughter, isn't as pretty or as beautiful or as good as somebody else's four-legged son or daughter. So then I think emotions get into it. Emotions, competition equals drama. So that was a fun question. Again, just my opinion. These things do happen. So our next question, just a little bit more serious, is how to properly show a Doberman. So how do you properly show a Doberman? Well, first of all, at Leading Edge Dog Show Academy, we have a great series of videos called The Ultimate Guide to Handling Your Dog. And we have beginner, intermediate, advanced handling, the best dog in 2 minutes, which I think, of course, everybody should see. But Dobermans, here we go. So first of all, remember that Dobermans are a working dog. When you stack your Doberman in the ring, your Doberman should be completely square to the judge. So it shouldn't be on an angle or a 3/4 angle, no angle at all, completely square. So from the judge's point of view, the Doberman would look like it only had 2 legs. You never want to get down on your knees when you are showing a Doberman. You want to make sure that your Doberman's neck is arched, and very important that your Doberman's ears are always up and showing a lot of animation whenever the judge is looking at their head, either walking down the line or on the free stack. So that's another thing Dobermans are really known for. Dobermans are known for their free stack when they come back to the judge, where they have to stand on their own, typically on a loose lead, standing 4 square, tail up, and neck arched, ears up. In advanced handling, we have a great stack box tutorial where you can teach your dog to free stack actually quite easily, and this might help. So yeah, showing a Doberman is, I love Dobermans. I loved it when I showed them, and it is an art unto itself. So good luck with that, and write us in if you have any more questions about showing your Doberman. So our next question is about classes, and this came from somebody that has shown in 2 United Kennel Club shows. So that's not AKC or CKC, but another kennel club in the US, and about classes. Okay, so first of all, for the majority of dog shows in Canada and the US, judging goes like this. Each breed is shown in the beginning, but in an order that you'll get on the judging schedule, and each of the classes are divided male and female. So they'll judge all the non-champion males first, and they're going to be divided by age typically, and then some other criteria. So United Kennel Club, you have puppy, which is 6 months to 1 year. You have junior, which is 12 months to 24 months. You have shown by the breeder, which the breeder shows the dog, and you have open, which is for any non-champion. So all these classes are for non-champions. And then we take the first place winners of all those classes in the males, and they compete for winner's male, best male. This is the dog that would get points. AKC and CKC, it's done in a similar fashion. The age divisions are typically a little bit different. AKC and CKC typically have puppy 6 to 9, puppy 9 to 12, 12 to 18. They'll have a Canadian bred class or an American bred class, which if your dog is born in Canada, it can be in Canadian bred in Canada. If it's born in the US, it can be an American bred in the US. They have bred by exhibitor, which is shown by the breeder. Then they have open. Then again, all first place winners of the males would come in for best male, and that's who would win the points. Whoever wins the points, say it was from the open class, the second place winner of the open class would then come in and compete for what's called reserve, which means if anything should happen and for any technical reason the points are taken away from winner's mail, so their registration wasn't done properly or on time, or they were entered in the wrong class, then the points would then go to the reserve winner. They repeat this again for females, so now you have a best non-champion male and a best non-champion female, whether it's AKC, CKC, or United Kennel Club. And then in the United Kennel Club, they have a champions class where males and females compete together for best champion, a grand champion class where males and females that are grand champions compete together. So then the best champion, the best grand champion, the best non-champion male, the best non-champion female compete for best of breed. That best of breed winner goes on to compete in the group. AKC and CKC, it's slightly different in that once you have best male and best non-champion male and best non-champion female, those two go in and compete against all the champions, and the best of breed winner is chosen from there, and the best of breed winner then goes on to the group. So we have another YouTube tutorial that we did when we actually first started Leading Edge Dog Show Academy that does explain that in quite a bit of detail, and I would invite you to look that up as well. But that was a great question, and good luck, and I hope you go to a lot more dog shows. Okay, so another question I'm just going to look up for you here because I couldn't remember them all, and I'm going to try to mute my computer at the same time. So this was about a Kerry Blue Terrier, and this came from Rhonda. And she says that she has a male Kerry Blue Terrier and that she will try bait and it'll work great, but the next time it doesn't work. And then she'll try a toy and he loves it, but the next time that doesn't work. And what does she do to keep her Kerry Blue's attention in the ring? Well, this is true for a lot of breeds, especially breeds that you have to show ears, so their ears have to be up when the judge is looking at them. And I have a lot of experience with this with a Kerry Blue Terrier myself. So a few things. First of all, what happens is a lot of people will find that magic thing, like that treat that they love the best or that toy that they love the best, and they simply wear it out. They simply take the uniqueness away from it. So I don't care what it is. I don't care whether it's food, a bait, or anything. We actually had at one of our live events a poodle, and she responded to a stick. And we just said she can never ever see that stick again. So once you find the thing that your dog loves, don't wear it out. Don't use it at handling class. Don't use it at home. Don't use it outside the ring, even at a show. The only time your dog can see that is in the ring being judged. And this is really, really important because you want it to just be so exciting when they get in the ring that the only time they get to see that thing or play with that thing is in the ring. So once you find it, they can't see it again. Even if it is a stick, the only time they see that particular stick is in the ring. So it is still special, still something they look forward to. And so one of the things that worked for Jack, Jack was actually a really good show dog, but if there was a female in season, he was out of control. That's all he thought about. So I had a fuzzy squeaky toy that I really loved, and I would find a bitch in season and I would rub some of her smell onto this squeaky toy and I would use that. And it really, really worked because then he was in love with his squeaky toy. But he only ever even saw that toy when it was in the ring, and he then would equate that toy with that smell. But I always kind of kept it refreshed. So whenever I found a bitch in season, I would just, use it then, like refresh the toy scent then, and keep that toy, if you are using this with your males, in a plastic bag so the smell doesn't dissipate. But so that's a tip that I would try, but it doesn't matter what it is, because even they will get onto that if you are showing it to them all the time. So whatever your tip or trick is, save it for only in the ring. And I actually mean only in the ring. Do not even use it outside the ring. Don't check on it. And treat it like it's special. Like, if you're pulling that special bait or that special toy out of your pocket and go, like you're so excited yourself that you found that. Like, oh my God, I haven't seen this for 3 weeks because we haven't been at a dog show, and now we're at a dog show. So yay, here it is, right? So really, really get that kind of animation. You need to be as animated as your dog does. And another thing I'll say about toys and baits not working is typically, our dogs don't let us down. So if there is something that they are doing where they're not acting excited about toy or bait, it's probably because we're acting like they're not going to like it, and they kind of pick up on those cues. So I hope that that made sense. But like, so when you're using that special item, bait, toy, stick, act super excited about it. Okay, that's my tip. So my last question is about a Havanese. And so somebody wrote in that they have a 6-month-old Havanese puppy, and that they're on, a really good diet. They have daily grooming. They're on filtered water out of a ceramic bowl, but the puppy still has eye staining. And they wondered if it was the little hairs like around the eyes irritating the eye. Well, certainly it could be, but I very much doubt it, right? Havanese are born with their hair growing in a certain pattern so that it doesn't irritate their eyes. If you do think it is, like maybe you live somewhere where it's really windy right now and the wind is always blowing into their eye, you could use like a deep conditioner, like a cholesterol or Chris Christensen's Hydro Pack, and just like slick the hair around the eye down with some extra thick conditioner to keep it out of there. But I kind of doubt that's the reason. I mean, I could be wrong, which is why I'm making that suggestion. And having them on a premium dog food, I mean, that's fantastic. But, dogs can still be allergic to whatever is in that dog food. And often allergens are one of the biggest things that does cause that kind of eye staining. Again, that's maybe doubtful in my mind right now for your 6-month-old Havanese, but something that, I would talk to my veterinarian about. So what my go-to would be is, this is a 6-month-old Havanese. So probably teething. When dogs are teething, there's a lot of swelling. There's a lot of teeth that have to fit in that little jaw and that little head in a Havanese. So there's going to be swelling, right? There's, just like why babies cry when they're teething and their little mouths are swollen, except, the jaw is very close to the eyes in some of these smaller breeds. And so when the jaw is swollen, it can like press on the tear ducts and stuff around the eye. And that can cause tearing, right? Because it's compressed. So we're not getting as much tear naturally forming, etc., and that can cause staining. So that to me is probably maybe one of the reasons why. I mean, I would check food, but I would check age and teething as well, would be kind of my 2 go-tos. So how to fix it. So the first thing I want to do is I want to stop the staining from happening. And one of my favorite ways, but again, please consult your veterinarian, but one of my favorite ways to do it is with colloidal silver. So I like to use Peace and Kindness spray by Chris Christensen. I've been to the factory, I see how they make it, and it's a colloidal silver spray that's just colloidal silver and distilled water. It's at 30 parts per million, and basically it's in a fine mist spray bottle, and so I'm going to have my dog maybe here, and with the spray bottle like here, I'm just going to give 2 little fist squirts, so this is their face, and from about 12 inches away, 2 little squirts, so it's like a fine mist, and their eyes are open and they're just blinking it in. And I'm going to do that twice a day, and literally I've had most of my dogs stop staining within 10 days. Again, you could use colloidal silver that you buy from the health food store, but make sure it's not mixed with anything else. It's just pure colloidal silver. And like I've used it in my own eyes when I've been at dog shows and there's lots of stuff irritating my eyes, or like on anything, little abrasion that I've had on my skin. But you should talk to your veterinarian before doing that. I have talked to my veterinarian and he's fine with me doing it with my dogs, but to each their own. I'm not a veterinarian and I want to make sure that you know that. But I do find that it works great. So now the second problem is that most likely you're going to get the source of the staining cleared up and still have the stained hair. So we do have some tutorials on YouTube as well as in Leading Edge Dog Show Academy that can help you out with that. And there's lots of different things you can do to help remove the staining that is already there. So that is it for today's social media Q&A. And thank you so much for sending those questions in. Please keep them coming. The more questions we have, the more often we're going to do these YouTube videos for you. I love doing the Q&A. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, please like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss a single one. You can check out our notes below and go to leadingedgedogshow.academy.com and check out any of our premium content. We have some wonderful, wonderful courses in there. As well, you could subscribe to Winner Circle, where you get all of our courses, you get our bonus content, you get all of our new up and coming things that we are rolling out this year, including a forum. There is lots of good stuff in there. And Winner Circle is you get everything, you get all the updates, you get exclusive content, exclusive access to me for one low monthly fee. You can stop your subscription whenever you like. We would love to have you join us for that. As well, there's links below. If you click on the Cherrybrook link, you can buy many of the products that I've mentioned, many other products, and it helps us out, no additional cost to you. So anyway, that is it. Thanks again, and we would love to see you anytime soon at Leading Edge Dog Show Academy. Bye-bye.